you.
Nice to meet you as well.
So I'm Lindsay. We spoke on the phone last week.
Yes.
Let's see. Do you want me to kind of give my spiel, or do you have specific questions?
Whatever you want to do. I'll just follow your lead is fine.
So we just talked about, general, the family who lives in the apartment, who,
Right.
How old everybody is,
Right.
just kind of the status of everybody's, interactions and relationships,
Mhm.
what happened on the 21st,
Mm-hmm.
and just like her experience, growing up with Rob,
Mm-hmm.
what he's like as a person,
Mm-hmm.
to kind of hopefully come up with the best kind of holistic path forward for everybody.
Okay.
Explaining that, my goal here
Mhm.
is not punishment.
Okay.
Just for what it's worth, I don't get paid more if people go to
Okay.
jail. I don't go to jail. I don't get
Okay.
paid. It makes no difference whatever happens in this case. So I'm
Okay.
completely motivated purely by a desire to keep people safe, and that includes Robert. I want him to be safe from himself, safe from other people, and I want you guys safe, especially in your own home.
Mm-hmm. And others as
certainly-
well. I
yeah,
mean,
exactly.
that is my stance,
Right.
and that's where I stood with the doctors for
Yeah.
releasing him
Yeah.
too soon.
And that's unfortunately, I tried to explain this to Breyer also, that to get him the help he needs, or the routine, the supervision, whatever he needs,
Mm-hmm.
whether that's medicine, whether that's structure, it involves, I don't know how other countries do it, we're not the only people that have people with mental health issues or struggles. So for us to say, to force someone, I'm using air quotes here, to say force someone to go to a doctor, or to stay at an inpatient facility, or to take certain medicines, and to enforce that is you have to take these meds. How do we know he's taking them? Well, we'll do drug tests, we'll have a specific, you have to see this person however many times a week, to kind of track that stability. Well, that infringes on a person's rights. This is America. No one can tell you, you have to be at this office this time, that you have to pee in this cup, that violates your privacy, that violates your freedom to go where you want and do what you want on any given day. And so in order for that to happen, we have to have a reason to do that. Does that make sense?
Well, and excuse me, but
Yeah, sure.
but the thing is, it's that's it. All of this stuff was very. It's like they didn't. I told the deputy, or the detective rather, the background. Again, that he is in services. There is an open investigation at the state level because I'm his caregiver.
Right.
So he has services.
Oh, that's my mom.
Sorry. The Bureau of Developmental Disabilities.
So I don't know. Hi, Mom.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Hi, we just had a meeting. Thanks. Today's my birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome.
Hi.
I'm just dropping it off.
Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I'll call you after work. I have a hearing at 3 o'clock, and then probably get it out around 4:30. So.
Do you need us to pick up anything? Or?
Not yet, but if that changes, I'll let you know. Thanks.
Hi.
Thanks, Liz.
I mean, I got more in here.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Love you.
You
Sorry about that.
That's okay. So
Yes.
that's what, and so he gets services through the Bureau of Developmental Disabilities. I'm his legal guardian.
Yes.
Yes. And so there's an accountability factor there. So immediately when anything happens, even if Rob stubs his toe and I take him to the ER, I have to alert my boss, who then fills out, and the case manager.
Through
The Bureau,
bids? Okay.
yeah, BDDS.
I knew it had
Yes.
yeah.
And so, therefore, there's an incident report,
Okay.
okay? There's follow-up questions. There are things in place for there to be accountability. And not only that, because of the medications as well, I have to monitor him taking his medications. So there's already those structures in place. I see what you're saying on the back end of it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. There has been very much documentation, and I'm over documented, you could see.
I believe you.
Yeah. So there's already things in place. If that's great, if you offer that other, have him pee in a cup every week, I don't care. What I'm concerned about is that him stepping foot in jail to have this accomplished. Is there a way around this so that he doesn't step foot in a jail cell to have this done? That's what I'm trying to really wrap my head around the fact that, especially that detective, knowing the background, seeing him hours before, and then she, along with the others, deciding to send it down over to your office for review. I'm like, what in the world is going on here?
Yeah, I mean, he tackled a policeman and, I mean, he committed battery, you know?
I'm not discounting that, okay?
Yeah.
And you brought up the fact that if he had a gun and shot someone, that's a whole different ballgame. We can't talk about what it, you know what I'm saying? I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it was right, but I'm saying it just is not making sense to me.
And I guess, that's what I'm trying to explain, is that, like, I mean, he attacked you, he attacked your daughter, he attacked the policeman, and that, you know, that's dangerous, that's a crime. And so I guess, I'm sorry that you feel that way, that you're surprised or shocked that he was charged with crimes, but what he did is a crime.
I understand
that.
I understand that,
Okay.
and I respect that fact.
Okay.
But I am trying, because I have been in the disability community for so long, and I'm talking to all of these different individuals who have had other clients do almost the exact same thing by laying hands on a
family member or an
family
officer,
member
yeah.
and an officer, and they had not gotten charged, and they weren't in the mental state that my son was. They were somewhat coherent when that happened, and yet there weren't any charges. So I'm just trying to,
I don't know those people, I don't know that situation, I don't know what county it was in, I don't know, you know, I didn't make those choices, so I can't answer why those ones were different.
yeah, I'm just
I can just
trying
tell
to,
you that I've been here since 2017, and we do have a lot of these cases, and this is not unusual. It's not the first case like this, it's not the last one we'll have, so I understand that you've spoken to other people who've been through apparently similar situations, and it came out differently. We've been through similar situations here at this office all the time.
and they all go to jail.
So the thing is, he's charged with felonies. And so in Indiana, if you're charged with a misdemeanor, you can be summoned to court. So that is where you're gonna be told, you know, hey, you pulled over by a police officer or whatever it is, they say you're gonna have to come to court this day, this time. For a felony, we don't do that. You can't be summoned for a felony because it's a felony. So the idea being that if you tell someone, hey, you're facing, you know, years in prison, they're not gonna just come to court next week. So there's a warrant issued. That person can either report to the jail or report to the courthouse, and they're taken into custody, and they have that initial hearing within 24 hours. So I mean, he's gonna set foot in a jail cell because that's the process. That's how he is then booked, and the judge gets that list of people who have been booked the night before. Every morning when we get in here at 7 a.m., we have the list of people from last night, and that's who we're gonna have the hearings on at 8:30 in the morning or 1:15 in the afternoon. We'll have all those hearings from the people from the previous night, and that's where the judge will ask him, you know, do you have a lawyer? No. Can you afford a lawyer? And he'll go through that process and probably appoint him an attorney, and then that attorney will ask for him to be released or for him to be able to post bond, whatever is appropriate for him at that time.
Okay.
And
But thank you.
what I'm still trying to understand is that he has no, literally, he's insane right now. He's literally out of his mind. And so I'm not saying that that's right. I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just trying to understand it.
Yeah,
That's
so there's a whole different process for if a person is what we legally the term is criminally insane, not guilty by reason of insanity. And that being where, yes, if there's a person who genuinely, you know, is seeing things that aren't there, is hearing voices, all those things. And then they, you know, unfortunately they commit crimes because of that. They hear voices, they see, they think this person is something, and they hurt that person in some way. Or they take things, whatever it is. And so then there is a legal process we have to go through where the court will appoint two psychologists or psychiatrists. I think they are psychiatrists. And they're appointed by the court, not by me, not by his attorney. They're neutral, third-party people,
Okay.
and there's 2 of them, and they each evaluate him, and
Okay.
they make these determinations of, does he know right from wrong? What's he like at baseline? What's he like when he's manic? What treatments has he been through before that have worked or not worked? And then if it is determined that he did not know right from wrong at the time that he did this instance, then he doesn't just get sent home, because that person is still dangerous. It's this idea of like they're causing harm and not realizing it. So they are sent to a specific mental health institution. I believe it's in Logansport, for rehabilitation. That's the other process. So there's, you do understand right from wrong, and you're held accountable like regular people. We have the mental health court. We have PAIR. I didn't know you guys were already working with beads. That wasn't on my list. That was on my list to give you information about too. There's that process, and then there's, if you're criminally insane, the Logansport process.
So, but these court-appointed psychiatrists,
Mhm.
okay, they would be evaluating him at this point.
They would be meeting with him at this point, but they would
Right.
go over his medical history.
Right. But they would assess him like, okay, here he is. So if he gets stable enough to get out of the mental health hospital, so then he's at a point of stability. Then you have those psychiatrists evaluating him at this point. How can they determine where he is at that point versus September 21st? When you have all of this documentation.
They review it all. I just told you they will look at his medical history. I think they consult with his other treating physicians.
Okay, that was my lead up.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted,
Oh, thank you.
that's what I wanted to
This is
say.
not their first rodeo.
Okay, so I just wanted to be sure, and that's what was my segue. I heard what you said,
Mhm.
but that was my segue. It's like, okay, how can they determine this without getting on the back end of this?
Yeah, they don't just meet with him one day for an hour and decide how to treat him. It's definitely not
Okay.
that simple.
And when we talk about bond for him,
Mhm.
because see, the sheriff's deputy that I talked about said that was not allowed on the warrant when he read it.
Right, it's a no bond warrant right now, but when he goes in front of the judge, and the judge will advise him of his charges,
Okay,
and see if he's got anything else pending and stuff, and the judge asks the prosecutor, the defense attorney, that's when we'll determine a bond amount.
and what's that like? I've never known anybody in trouble, so what kind of dollars are we talking about?
I mean, it depends on the judge, it depends on, a lot of things. It could be anywhere from like $500 to $200,000. And this is not gonna be a $200,000 case. I think this would be more around the 5,000 to 20,000 range, and it's cash or surety, meaning you can pay 10% of that to a bondsman, and that being the, incentive for him to report to court, obviously.
An incentive for him to report to court, paying that amount. So,
10% of that amount to a bondsman, so that's why the bondsman is incentivized to make sure that he comes to court, because if he doesn't, the bondsman is responsible for the amount. So if bond is $200, you pay $20,
okay,
and the bondsman is responsible for the other 180. That's why if Rob doesn't come to court, the bondsman is the one that's like, hey, not cool, I'm gonna have to pay $180 for you not being there, so he goes to find him.
okay.
Yep.
So we've got the financial part of this too that's gonna come into play. Okay. I mean, he's still not stable, so I'm still dealing with that on the back end.
So he's still a community, right? Or not community?
No, community let him go.
That's what it was, okay.
Yes, community let him go on the 7th.
Right.
The charges were posted on my case on the 8th,
Mhm.
so technically he would have still been out. But when I was taking him to do a day program at Hendricks Behavioral Hospital, because they had to do a reassessment, and that's what I had, that's
Sorry,
what I
did you
was,
say Hendricks Behavioral Health?
yes,
Okay.
that's where he's at now.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and so that's why they wanted me to have him come in for an intake, even though he had already been a patient there back in July.
Mhm.
They released him too soon. And anyway, I wanted to get him into like in-depth therapy.
Yeah,
And then he initially went into with me, and then he's like, I can't do this because it was too traumatic for him because he had been there in July.
Okay.
And so, as an inpatient.
Been in Hendricks in July.
Yes.
Okay.
And so then, I had to call the receptionist said, excuse me, because he walked out. She's like, I think you should call 911. So I did that. He walked back in,
You guys have a
and
great
then
rest
he
of your
walked
day.
out again, and then got in the, car and left the car. No. And so then the police officers kind of talked him down, and he came in willingly. And
Oh, back in
then-
July
No, this is on the 8th
of September.
of October. Yeah, the day that your office pressed charges.
Filed them. We filed
Filed
them.
them, yeah, I just thought it was weird because like he was out of community and technically he would have been like here, but then the charges came on the 8th.
Would have been here.
I mean, no, you know what I'm saying, he would have been out. He
Out
was
of
out
community,
of
right.
community on the 7th, and then the charges got filed on the 8th. But then Hendricks, you know, I took him there for an assessment.
On the
so
8th.
On the 8th,
Okay.
and then they readmitted him.
Okay.
So then, from that point forward,
He's
here
been
we
in
are.
Hendricks. Got it.
Mhm. Yeah, so, and they have yet to be able to stabilize him, although they wanted to release him.
That's what I thought.
And
We
they-
talked on Friday.
Yeah, they were adamant about it.
Mhm.
And it's funny because it would have been on a Friday where he would have spent the weekend in jail. I said, he's still not stable because I record our phone conversation. I record their phone conversations.
I know.
I record everything
I know.
just because
That's I would just
everything is not, because, you know, I wanna show, hey, somebody dropped the ball here.
Okay.
And that's where I'm at, like with community, I was adamant that he needed to stay in there. That was before any of these the things came up on my case, because I was waiting. I was waiting because it's been in your office
Because
this
the detective
entire
let you know
time.
they were submitting it for review.
Yes, cause I looked every single day.
Mhm.
And, then you know, on the 7th, there was nothing on there, so
Right.
it's not like I would say, hey, keep him because of that. It was because I knew he was unstable, but they were adamant about getting him out of there.
Mhm. Well, because like their version of stability is not necessarily like the legal, you know, version of, stable.
Well, everyone's baseline, you know, that's why I said, you cannot, if they are a harm or a threat to themselves or others, they should not be released. I don't care if it's a short term, and that's not a thing either, because I've done my research on that. They can keep him longer. If he is homicidal or suicidal, they can keep him longer.
Community can or Hendricks can? You mean, or
All of
both?
them
Got
can.
it. Okay. Yeah.
And so that's where we're at. And I said, you know, if you want to go, and that's where I'm at with Hendricks right now, because they wanted to go all gung ho and get him out of there. And I just thought that was ironic, because it's like, okay, then he would have been out on a Friday.
Mhm.
We would have had to, you know, there's that warrant. He would have sat in jail all the weekend.
Yes, he reported on Friday, right?
Right.
Right.
And I just thought, anyway, I just thought he's still not ready. And that's what I mean. It's like, we're not going here. And I said, I probably am going to go after community, actually, for letting him go this time around. I may go back and do, because there was a state investigation way back in March.
But all of this is after September 21st, though. Community let him out after September 21st. So it's not like you put him in somewhere and they released him and then he attacked you guys.
Yes, we did.
Okay, where was
We did.
that at?
That was at the Anderson Center.
Got it, okay. When did the Anderson Center?
That
release
was
him?
they released him in August.
Okay,
So this is his 5th one this year.
got it. In 2024?
Yes.
Okay. His 5th inpatient stay.
Yes. So in March, he had one at Indianapolis Neuropsych Hospital. I think that's the name
So
of it.
Hendricks, right now where he's at in Hendricks, this is the 5th time he's been inpatient in 2024.
Yes.
Okay.
But earlier this year, he was at Indianapolis Neuropsych for 2 days.
Mhm.
and ended up with bruises all over his upper torso and then a kidney issue, and they removed him from there and sent him to Eskenazi. He was stable until June on the medications and so forth.
Mhm.
And then that's when he entered Hendricks Behavioral Hospital.
Okay.
And then they had trouble stabilizing him, released him too early. I objected, and within a week's time, he woke up, thought someone was holding a knife to his throat, thought bugs were crawling all over him, and this was when we lived in Anderson at the time.
Okay.
And he destroyed the house, holes all over the furnace, everything. And you can hear him on the video saying, I don't want to hurt anybody, I don't want to hurt anybody. And then he's just like, I don't want to go to a hospital or whatever. But he did. And that's when he ended up at the Anderson Center. And they kept him for quite a long time,
Okay.
but still could not get him stabilized.
And is this the time that, so he's there and they kept him for quite some time, let him out in August, and then this happened in September?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What other questions do you have for me?
I guess, I mean, I was asking you if you could lessen or drop the charges, but that doesn't sound like that's the case. We're gonna stay full-on felony, and I guess, we'll just have to take the hit, as they come, cause that's what they are, they're hits, to our family, and that's what I'm saying, it's like everybody, I feel like, and I don't know, because it's kind of like we're reflections of one another, right? You see things a certain way, I see your world a certain way.
Certainly.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so to me, everybody's just a number. You know what I'm
Do you
saying?
think I see you guys as a number?
Not necessarily you per
Oh,
se,
okay.
but I'm saying the
The system as a whole. Sure.
as a whole.
That's fair. Mhm.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want to put this on you, and I don't
That's
mean
okay.
to do that at all.
No, I get it.
I'm saying the system, it's broken.
It is, yeah.
It's a broken system, and we just, we're just a number, but it's not individualized, and that's what I'm saying. To me, it should be looked at individualized. I get what you're saying, you have to have things in place for accountability factors.
Yeah, for the safety of the community, honestly.
Right.
Yeah.
And for everyone, and I'm all for that.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't want this to happen again, but at some point, you need to go back and look, and there needs to be accountability to these professionals as well. If we're doing everything on our end when he's discharged,
Mhm.
but yet he's still not stable, and we're having to deal with that, that's a problem.
And I don't know, so obviously I practice criminal law. This is my job.
Right.
I don't sue Community North,
Right, right.
And obviously, that's something you guys look into, or you're gonna sue Hendricks or Anderson, and
I don't,
For
and
sure.
I'm not all about that. I'm just about accountability. I don't care about dollars. I don't care
no,
about,
yeah.
I want this stuff to stop
And-
because it's problematic, and it bleeds into your system
Right, and that's what I'm
and
saying.
all the
is that
way around.
it's unfortunate where it's one thing, our system obviously is designed with
Right,
the idea of people who know right from wrong, who are in the right mind and are intentionally aggressive, intentionally
Right.
deceptive, the stereotypical idea of like a criminal.
right,
When it becomes an issue of mental health, substance abuse, addiction, it's like, well, are
Right.
you a criminal, or are you just someone who needs money because you are addicted to substances?
right,
So we have, over the centuries, developed mental health court, drug court,
Mhm.
drug driving court, these problem-solving courts,
Mhm.
veterans court for mental health stuff. He's not a veteran, right? Is he in the
No,
military?
but you know
Okay.
what upsets me? It's kind of going back, it reminds me of when his first hospital stay was in
Mhm.
2008.
Okay.
His very first hospital stay. And that is when he was getting treated for just like ADHD,
Yeah,
but then his behavior kind of did an about face, and he was at a day program.
okay,
And when I went to pick him up, he kind of went just kind of like berserk and just
Huh.
very uncharacteristic behavior in certain ways. And then immediately the security guard got him and took him over to Community North inpatient. He was there literally for almost a good month in the adolescent program
In 2008,
in 2008, and
Okay.
that's when they diagnosed him with bipolar.
got it.
Well, he was never a problem at school.
Huh.
So, behavior wise or anything else,
Mhm.
correct?
No, actually, he was bullied by a lot of people,
Yes.
That's unfortunate.
because he has a very low IQ.
That's
Yeah.
right, that's right, yeah.
And so then what happened was, instead of them getting him back into the regular school setting,
Mhm.
he was placed in an alternative school setting with all the other little tyrants
Mhm.
or whatever, bullies.
Yeah,
And he was bullied in there, but it was all with the thing like, oh, we want to get him acclimated and get him caught up.
was he medicated back then, if you know? When they
Yes.
first diagnosed with bipolar?
Oh,
Okay.
yes, he's been medicated since he was 5.
Yeah, does he do an
Unfortunately.
okay job taking his own medicines, like stabilizing
I'm
himself?
monitoring him.
Yeah, I know you're
I'm
monitoring, but, so does he fight that? Does he fight being medicated? Does he not wanna take the meds? Does he not feel right when he's taking the meds? Or if he was told to take his medicines, does he usually comply?
He complies no matter what. He doesn't agree with it,
Okay.
and he feels terrible on it, like it makes him, he'll tell you that, but he'll take it. He's
Okay.
very compliant.
He's not trying to sneak it or,
No,
okay.
no, he's not in that way. He's
Okay.
very compliant.
So not happy about it, but he does it.
Right,
That's
right.
Fair. That's fair.
And even though it's destroyed his body, a lot of these meds, anyway.
Yeah,
My point is,
okay.
so he was put with with these little thugs,
Mhm.
that's what they are. They're little troublemakers in school. I had to get an advocate.
Mhm.
I had to go before the school board and get him back into regular school setting. But in the meantime, one of those little tyrants bullied him and I think actually pulled a knife on him while he was in alternative school.
Wow.
So this is just like, this is the adult version of that for me. And I'm telling you, that's where I'm coming from.
And I appreciate your perspective.
And that's what I
can
see. I'm just thinking,
only imagine
he's
having gone
going
through
to
that and then
be-
feeling like it's repeating itself.
that's what it feels like. And it feels very, and it's like, I feel for my son. And, Briar knows this, can say this to me too, about this. Whenever, I think it was my son or maybe even Briar took something and like stole it, knew what he was
Yeah,
doing.
Yeah.
I made him go march back, I don't know if it was you or him, but made him
Yeah,
go
I
march
was
back.
5 and I still Tic Tacs.
Yeah. And I made them march back into the store and do right. That's what I'm saying. If my son knew right from wrong
Right.
and he deliberately did this, put his butt in jail.
And that's the hard part, is like, again, I kind of tried to explain this to Briar, that like, I don't know Rob, never met him, never seen him, you guys do. I don't want you to get the impression that I think Rob is like an intentionally malicious, deceptive, violent person. Not at all. I feel the position that you guys are in, and obviously, I think he's a great person. It sounds like from talking with you guys, at baseline, he's been through a lot, you guys have all been through a lot.
Mhm.
And she even was saying to me that he's aware of his size, he's very tall, he's very large, like he's
Mhm.
cognizant of, his space or the
Mhm.
effect he could have on people physically.
Mhm.
Obviously, when he is in a manic state or a state of psychosis, a state of truly not knowing right from wrong, because he doesn't even know, are there snakes on me or not,
Mhm.
that is when, unfortunately, and this is not just a him thing, it's just general across the board, when people are in that kind of state, it almost always turns violent, whether that be a person driving their car too fast, driving
Mhm.
erratically, running around,
Mhm.
weapons, God forbid, be involved.
Mhm.
And so that's where it becomes like a law enforcement issue,
Mhm.
Because it's one thing, people could have mental health struggles and they can, yes, there's a category of mental health, but when it starts to impact other people physically and their well-being and their safety,
Mhm.
that's when it becomes our job, police's job, to step in. And that's where I guess when I started this meeting, I was trying to explain, like, I don't know how other countries deal with it, because obviously this system, the courthouse, the criminal justice system, jail, was not designed or intended to deal with mental health crises. We've kind of tried to adapt it on the back end, It was definitely made of like, did you steal this person's horse? Well, you should be put in the stockade in the town square. And over time, we've tried to figure out ways to incorporate, rehabilitative treatment. And again, so it's, my goal is not like, I don't even want to say my goal is justice. My goal was just, I want people to get to a place where they are happy, they are safe, they are productive members of society, and that everyone around them is safe.
He's gonna have this felony on his record forever.
Nope, you can get them expunged. That's a misconception. They can be expunged. Misdemeanor is 5 years. I believe a felony is 8 years on a level 6 like this. And I don't know, even the PAIR court, I do not run the PAIR mental health institution court. My friend does. And I don't know, I believe, you know what? I don't even want to speculate.
Oh my gosh, the mental health court.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what, it's so funny. I literally was talking to his previous behavior consultant, and that's what he was talking about Marion County had.
Mm-hmm.
And cause I recorded our phone conversation too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Because there's like a mental health court in the sense of like, because I know Rob has been through that process here before. I know Judge Hughes is familiar with him. He's been through the mental health cases, like the times those have been documented. But I'm talking
No,
about
he
the
hasn't.
PAIR treatment court.
He hasn't been through this court.
Not criminally, no. I know, he has no criminal history, right. But I'm talking about like other times, I thought there were other times that like police have been called for Robert.
No.
Then maybe there's someone else with a horn a day that I'll look into. But I thought we had documentation of other times that he has been, I guess, institutionalized, obviously. That aside, there are mental health
No, wait a minute.
crimes.
Wait a minute. So, tell me that again. So
So there's like, you know, when someone commits a crime, it's a criminal case and there's a criminal cause number. It starts with 29B03 in this case. There are other instances where if a person is in a mental health, you know, a guardianship, a guardian is appointed, they cannot manage their own estate, or can they have a driver's license? Like there's the courthouse isn't just for, crimes committed, people put in jail. People have divorces, they sue people, they sue their landlords, all other kind of cases happen through here. So this office, just deal with criminal stuff. There's other kinds of cases. I was under the impression that you're Michelle, that's what's written here, not Michelle, that Robert had other cases, but that could be wrong. I just thought that because he'd been institutionalized before, I assumed that he had
No.
treatment court ordered before or other places,
No.
so, okay.
wow. This is starting to unravel and making a little bit of sense now. So was that a deciding factor then?
No, ma'am, that was not a deciding factor. He strangled you, he punched your daughter in the face, he tackled a police officer. All of those are crimes, so we charged him with crimes. Those are the factors.
Okay, so run this by me. Okay, when he gets out of the hospital, because here comes the second round of,
Right.
I'm not even gonna say it, the second round.
I can tell how you feel about it, and you don't have to say it out loud, because I know what you mean.
I'm just, and I don't want you to take that personally.
No, I wouldn't.
I don't like our system.
It's okay.
It,
Your feelings are very valid.
thank you. And I'm just like,
And again,
it's putting
Yeah.
extra stress.
Yeah.
It's putting extra stress on my daughter right now.
Mhm.
I mean, they have a lot of anxiety, they have their own diagnoses. Just to get them here,
I'm sorry,
was
you
a
go by
lot.
they.
Yes,
I'm so sorry.
it's
that's
fine.
okay, you didn't know.
I didn't know, but now I know, and I will do that better.
But that's what I mean, it's just like, and then there's the financial piece as well.
I know.
And it's
Trust me,
like-
that makes me sick.
It
Yeah.
just is like, there's something wrong here. There's something very, very wrong with our systems and the way that they are. But regardless of that, okay, so when we get him to a point of stability, okay, let's just say this.
Mhm.
Because my thing is, I want him in an in-depth treatment so that we can get him like stable.
Monitored, yeah, like hardcore.
So I don't know what that entails as far as the doctors on their end helping me, because I've been trying to get this done all year.
Okay.
Like in an in-depth, like, hey, and at one point I was like, please take him off of all his medicines,
Okay.
monitor him and introduce things one at a time so we know
See
what works.
Yeah.
I've even had the gene site testing,
Oh, wow.
which is, I don't know if you know that
Yeah,
that is.
yeah.
We have gone the gamut.
Did you
You
find
know?
that like helpful? I've only known a handful of people who've done
Oh.
it. Did you think it was pretty adequate?
I found it helpful.
Yeah.
Why it's done, I don't know, because the doctors don't look at it.
Really?
And I have yet to hear, and even the providers at Hendricks, they know I'm his guardian.
Yeah.
Before they do anything, they're supposed to call me, have they? No. Has one provider called me? No.
Yeah.
The therapists have called me,
That's good.
but they know that I'm on it, and it's like, I don't want to get anybody into, I'm not about dollars,
You're
I'm
not here
about
for the-
accountability and justice. I'm kinda like you, in a way.
Just want him
I
to
want
be
truth
healthy
and
stable.
justice.
Yeah,
I want everybody safe, not just my family.
right.
Because I almost stepped in when I saw my son lunge at that place, cause I thought, oh my gosh, here we go.
Yeah.
But,
can imagine.
and even, because if you see it, like I said, tase him.
Yeah.
I was telling her, tase him,
Yeah.
like, put him down.
Man, I can't imagine as a mom being in
Um,
that sort of a position, yeah.
I had to look at it objectively
Yeah,
in that moment.
Yeah.
And again, my thought is always keeping everybody safe, because there have been times, where you just have to look at the bigger picture.
Yeah.
He's big.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
and
it's not his
I mean,
fault, it's a matter of,
yeah,
like you said, it's just,
so I don't know at this point if he's gonna continue, if he's ever gonna get out at this
Right.
point. I mean, he may be institutionalized
yeah,
at this
and
point.
we have, that happens sometimes.
And
Yeah.
so, okay, if that happens, then what happens in your arena?
It depends, and as lawyers, that's our favorite answer to a question, is always, it depends. It depends on what kind of case he has, it depends on, how long they think he'll be institutionalized, what it's projected to look like. It depends on, how they are treating him, what that treatment looks like. It's kind of we all kind of come back to the drawing board and collaborate and figure out what is the best way to move forward at that point.
So then that's, this thing
Mhm.
follows him.
I don't know what explain
Okay,
what you.
so like if he leaves Hendrix and
Mhm.
let's say he's institutionalized, whatever,
Okay.
or in a long-term treatment to
Got it.
get him help,
Mhm.
this thing is gonna loom over his head until he's at the point of stability to answer for the said crimes.
So, in that sense, like, yeah, if someone looks him up on my case, they'll see that. I don't know what the institution's criteria are. I don't know if that's like, some of them won't take someone with a pending case, or if that doesn't matter to them. I would be surprised if that was their rule, because a lot of people have pending cases that need those services.
No, I'm not saying that that's a factor, I'm saying
Okay.
with you, so let's say, okay, he's at like a long-term treatment facility, and he's there and they don't know how much time.
Right.
Is his case going to follow him until he gets, like,
Are
say
you
it's a
asking like
year,
how long until we would dismiss the case?
or whatever?
Um,
I mean, I'm not championing for that, I'm championing for him to get better,
right.
and
right.
and
And I don't know. The answer is I don't know.
Okay.
How long, it depends where he's going. It would be a conversation with his treatment providers. We have to see.
And this is another thing, okay, let's just say we had dollars or somebody step up and help him,
Mhm.
but it's out of state, but he's got this warrant
That
in
happens.
Indiana.
That happens all the time.
So what's that look like if he goes out
And-
of state?
I feel like you're not gonna believe me, but it is an individualistic approach. We do have to look at everybody individually and see, because if it's someone that's had a bunch of criminal cases beforehand and they don't report to court when they're supposed to, then that's the kind of person that we're like, no, we're not gonna let you go to rehab in California because we don't trust you. You're not accountable. Obviously, Rob is not in that situation. So if you were to be going somewhere out of state, that's a much more realistic outcome for us from
Right.
that starting point. So
Right.
yeah, again, it would be, we want to hear from his treatment providers and explain why is this the best institution for him, what's it look like, what's the accountability, how long is it,
Okay,
yeah, it's totally not
so
off the
this is,
table.
okay, so if we had to send him out of state, then that, okay.
I've only been here since 2017 and I have had those kind of cases before where someone ends up
Okay.
being out of state for their.
And I don't know that that's a possibility, I'm just running,
Yeah,
I just want all case scenarios.
yeah, no problem. Morning, Greg, how are you?
Just fine. Oh, good boy. Serious.
Yeah, he's got some big feelings.
It's so funny because I don't follow politics. I used to listen to him on the radio.
Oh, yeah, WNBC.
What's funny is, and my niece's aunt
Okay.
was a paralegal in his office.
Well, small world.
One of the attorneys that I hired, because I used to do all my stuff for my divorce on my own. I petitioned the court and wrote everything up myself. But in one instance, I had to get an attorney, and it was Martha McDermott, who
Mhm.
is one of his attorneys.
Wow.
And I just thought, What a small
What a small world.
world.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. Anyway, so it's funny that he just pops in,
Yeah.
but, he looks a lot different than like I've
He
seen
does.
like years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
I'm just like, okay. But anyway, okay, and so,
So yeah, there's still lots of options. There.
okay,
Inpatient long-term treatment could be a potential outcome. The
okay,
pair court could be a potential outcome. Treatment out of state could be an outcome.
okay. What's, explain to me
Probation could
the,
be a thing. I don't know.
okay, and
I'm not crossing anything off the
Okay.
possibilities.
what's the mental health, court? What is that?
You know, that's a great question. Like I said, I'm not the prosecutor assigned to it. My friend is.
Okay,
I know that it involves, I believe, weekly meetings here in the courthouse, and it's all of the people participating, and there's a specific judge that oversees it, and there's a specific prosecutor, a specific defense attorney, and they, you know, monitor everyone's progress, and it's kind of a weekly, hey, how are things going for you? What's the latest? What's new? I don't want to call it a support group because it's more than that. It's more intensive than that, but it gives them a path, a checklist, I wish there was another word for path. It's similar to our drug court treatment program, which is the same, where they meet weekly in front of a specific judge, and those specific judges go to trainings for those courts. So that the judge who is assigned to the pair court goes to periodic trainings with other judges who run that same kind of court in other places across the country. They go through, you know, what works, what solutions or treatments have they seen make progress. Yeah.
okay. And you know, he's got that mental health piece, but then he also has his autism. And so there's a stressor as well. And see, not only that, he was taking his meds just fine. He was very compliant.
Good.
They changed him to an injectable, which is every 28 days, which means every month I have to go and take him to an office to get an injection, which causes him stress.
I feel you on that one.
And I'm just like, and they did all this without my permission. So I'm fighting against this, I'm fighting against that. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
It truly feels like it. And I don't,
No, I'm not
please
offended.
don't.
No, please.
And
I want you to feel comfortable. Tell me how you feel, where you're coming from.
I'm just being
your
totally
perspective.
transparent.
Exactly, and I appreciate that. I want you to always feel comfortable doing that, and I also wanted to just stress again, like, this is a conversation that, like, is purely for how do we help everyone going forward. This is not, if this were to go to trial, which I'm not saying that, I just want you to feel comfortable. In fact, I'm not gonna go to trial. I'm like, well, actually, on this day when we talked, you said this thing.
Yeah.
Literally not even allowed to do that,
Yeah.
so don't worry about that. I want
Well,
you to always
and
be
I'm not
comfortable
concerned about any of that.
being transparent with me.
I just am like, the police officers, because she knew,
But that's the
I
thing, is
just am like,
just because he was not in his right mind doesn't make it.
I don't want him, he
Right.
doesn't get a free
Doesn't-
pass.
Exactly.
He doesn't get a free pass, I
Right.
get that, but it's like, it just seems like, and I just wanna say, he's a first offender, so
Right.
it's like,
If he's not a first offender, we'd be talking about a higher bond and probably higher felonies too. I know it's a level
And
6 felony, and that's a big deal. Felonies are a big deal, but it is the lowest level of felonies. This is what he doesn't even go upstairs. He stays in
the fact that it's the fact that it's in this system
Right.
ticks me off.
and that's valid. It's completely
And
valid.
I'm just like, you know, not only do we have this stressor of getting him well, this stressor of my daughter being kind of like on the back burner because I had things that I was doing for them.
Yeah.
Now we've got this BS, and that's the way that I feel about
That's
it. And
totally
again,
fine. It's okay.
I'm
Please,
just
you can-
saying,
Please tell me. It's okay.
and
I'm
I'm
not
just
offended. I
like,
want you to be honest with me.
I just am like, what is going on here? What is really, when we get down to it, what is really going on here, and why are we here?
And that's the bottom line. I promise you, it's nothing more, I don't wanna say complicated, it is. He strangled you, he punched your daughter, he tackled a policeman. Those are crimes, those are dangerous, those are the things that we arrest people for.
What are
you
the
know?
3 counts against Breyer?
Domestic battery, all 3 of which are domestic battery. So there's the battery, I think, for tackling her, punching her, and kicking her. So each of those is a separate act of battery, you know, if that makes sense.
And the only reason why I'm not listed is because you didn't think I would cooperate?
Well, we also, it puts everyone in a very difficult position to have family, testify against family, no matter what, sisters, brothers, moms, aunts, anybody, grandparents.
Then why list Breyer?
That's what I'm explaining. So, based on the police discussion with you and you're his legal guardian, it puts you in a very weird legal position also, because you are, required, you have this legal duty to act in his best interest.
Mhm.
And then, then you're in court in a trial testifying, and you have this other legal duty to tell the truth.
Mhm.
And again, I know it probably doesn't feel this way, but we are not trying to railroad your son. It doesn't help me to have more counts than I need.
Mhm.
It doesn't, I charge him with 10 things or 2, it doesn't really matter. They're already charged with level 6 felonies. Adding more level 6 felonies for what he did to you isn't gonna change whether he does pair or not. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
In theory, all it would do is like, if I really was a hard ass and we went to trial and I wanted to have a long, long, long jail sentence, then I could stack those counts. I've never done that.
Mhm.
So,
But why not just do it against the officer? If you even look at an officer wrong or you cut
that
him.
can change change which court he goes to. It can change what things he's eligible for, because attacking a police officer does not accurately reflect the entire situation. The domestic battery part of it more accurately reflects the situation.
So
Alright,
it-
well, you take care, we'll be in
Awesome.
touch soon.
Great.
Thank you.
Sorry. Oh, shoot. Okay. I have a hearing at 11.
So it ties everything up, it ties everything up, having the misdemeanors with Breyer and then the felony with the police officer, or whatever.
It ties things together, if that's what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It makes it more cohesive and a better understanding of what happened that night and
Okay.
what kind of your guys' situation is.
Gotcha.
Because one thing, people who you're just charged with beating up a cop,
Mm-hmm.
that's a different kind of person
Mhm.
than someone who lives with their caregivers and became violent toward them in the middle of an episode. Does that
Mhm.
make sense?
Sure.
It's a different approach. If I'm looking down my list and just see what the person's charged with, it's okay, that's kind of probably the situation I'm walking into, versus no, this is a much more involved, much more, I don't wanna say complicated in a bad way, but there's a lot going on here, there's a lot of factors.
Mm-hmm.
So it gives us a clearer view, and it gets him into better resources.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Well, I will definitely keep your office.
Yeah.
Do you want me just to, because I have Denise's, email now, just shoot her an email and let her know
Yes.
and keep
If
you
you have
guys
questions,
updated?
feel free to
Okay.
email us, feel free to call us.
Okay,
Again, I don't want you to feel that we charged those crimes because we didn't care about yours. We do care about yours. If for some reason you want us to add your counts, we can talk about that.
no, it just didn't
I
make
didn't think that
sense.
you wanted us to.
No,
which is
it
another
just
thing we
didn't make
consider,
sense, because I'm like, are you trying to pit? You know what I'm saying?
Right,
In
and
my
we're not,
mind,
we're not.
I'm breaking it down and I go down rabbit holes. I'm thinking, are you gonna pit my
Right.
children? Are you trying to divide our house because it's just the 3 of us?
And I
And
promise
that's the
you
way
it's
that I
not our
look.
plan.
Because
And-
sometimes I
right.
do look at the,
And that's one of the things, like I said, where you being his legal guardian, we try to consider the position it puts you in. We don't want you to feel like we're trying to pay you against your children.
Yes.
So,
well, and it's like, a house divided,
right.
you know what I'm saying?
And
I'm just like, we're not, but Breyer's very transparent, and Breyer will tell you, and I
Yes,
said,
you did, and I appreciate
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
I
And
mean,
like
we
said,
don't hold anything back.
This is all purely, we want him to be the best version of Rob that he can be. We want him to be safe, we want him to be healthy, we want him to be stable, we want you guys safe,
Yeah.
and everyone else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We all want the same thing,
We
so
do.
thank you.
Yes,
Thank
you're
you for your
welcome, you're
time.
welcome, yeah.
I appreciate it, and I'll keep your, office abreast of our, the situation.
Thank you, yeah,
Okay.
and if you have questions or if other things come up, feel free to let us know,
Okay, we certainly
care,
will.
both
Thank
of
you.
you.
You as well.